The Amp Energy Racing Series has 2 races left, the first of those 2 being at the Seattle Speedway for the CostCo 200. AAA Pole Award goes to Kenny Gerrelds in the 14, and he's been stellar at qualifying all season long. Starts alongside Luke Kinsen, who started on the outside pole at Homestead, and then we have Bjorn Brewer, a one-off starting third. He ran well in his first 2 one-off starts. Todd Bradshaw 4th, and Jerry Richardson made the field in the 54, and he starts in 5th. Casey Lester 6th, and Nate Smith, the 2 of the points contenders, start 6th and 7th. Right away, though, it looks like Brewer's going to go to the inside of Gerrelds, and the whole inside line is going to follow through. Here's Jerry Richardson looking at the inside of the 97 now. Cannot get that done. Nate Smith is your points leader by 26 points over Mike DiCario, and Casey Lester is 66 points back, and the 87 in the picture there, but the 83 car, a good run here will just solidify the championship for him, as a big point lead going into the last race will definitely make a huge difference for him, take weight off his shoulders. Mike DiCario started 31st and was in the back of the field at the start of this one, running conservative, and that's probably a good thing considering what the pack is doing right now, and he's just trying to keep his car fresh for the end of the race. Jerry Richardson in the 54, mentioned him at the top of the broadcast, saying he has made his first race in quite a while, and he started 5th, was on the pole for quite a while, but lost it at the very end. But Jerry Richardson, hopefully this is a good sign for him going into next season, as we see trouble. Mike DiCario got into the 39 of Michael Carter. Carter through the grass, and he comes up the track into the Baltano in the 74, and he goes around and gets some major back damage on the 39 car, and no caution would fly. DiCario's going to have some left side damage on his number 96 Buick Regal, as Greg Sauer hooked him into the 39, and the 39 just, well, nowhere to really go after that, as tried to get the car back on the racing surface, but Bethany Baltano in the 74 was there, and the 39, some major damage to him, and he's way out of the pack as we take a look at the damage on Mac DiCario's Ally Buick. And it doesn't look like it's too significant, but Mac DiCario, tough start to his race for sure. Casey Lester hasn't had a top 10 since Los Angeles. That was race number 10, and since then he's seen his point lead go all the way down to 3rd in the championship standings, and the 87 running that special Nathan's hot dog scheme, but he's looking to turn it around. He's currently just outside of the top 10 after starting 6th, and if he wants to stay in this championship battle, he's going to have to pick it up and at least be better than Nate Smith in the 83s. We take a look at Jonathan Ringer in the 0, who's been absolutely incredible the last couple of weeks. Ran great all 3, one at Michigan, one at Charlotte, and then at Pensacola had a great chance at winning, but fuel strategy took him out of the running in that one, and he finished in the 34th position. But Jonathan Ringer definitely moving up through the standings, and I consider him a dark horse for the championship in 2015, as the Chase Bank team has finally got it figured out. Now we're taking a look at Bjorn Brewer, who is still leading in that number 97 Rockstar Ford. Brewer looking to make his way through the ranks next season, and he's showing he has a ton of potential, as right here Will Legge, our Pensacola winner, will slide underneath and take the top spot away. But Bjorn Brewer definitely showing some bright spots this season in the 3 races he's started, and I would not be surprised to see him in at least the AAPT next year. Unsure on his future though, but he's definitely showing he should be at least in the AAPT, as we see Mario Lancer, who's struggled pretty much all season underneath Will Legge. Lancer struggled to make races, but when he does, he's usually in the top 15, and today's definitely putting it all together, at least for right now, in that Red Robin Pontiac, and the 27 will take the lead away from Will Legge on lap 21, and we see Justin Bazzani, Jonathan Ringer, and I believe that was Bjorn Brewer sitting in the 5th position. But it doesn't look like Legge's going to go down without a fight, as they continue to battle, and they've been side by side for quite a while, catching up on Michael Carter in the 39, who wrecked on lap number 4. But it looks like Lancer's... Oh, and once again, Legge battling hard on the outside. Eventually, the 27 would clear the 15, and they'd get around Michael Carter in the 39, who was actually holding up Legge a little bit there, and that's going to make Jonathan Ringer have an opportunity at 2nd, and he will take that away from Legge. So lap traffic playing into this one a little bit. I don't know what Carter's doing exactly, as his teammates up on that outside line as well. As you see, Carson Crompton has just been hooked by Ricardo Blanco, and on lap 24, the caution has flown. Back it down, Carson, and he smacks into the wall and comes up the racetrack in front of Jates, and the 84 takes a hard hit in the outside wall and is done for the race. On lap number 24 is Ricardo Blanco just hooks the 84 Vans Pontiac, and I don't know what he's thinking here. He just runs into the wall and up the racetrack into the outside wall. That's a very hard driver's side hit, and we don't have a word on his medical condition just yet. Let's go on board here to see exactly what happened here. Crompton, this is going to take a big dent in his championship hopes, as they were already diminished, but he's going to definitely fall back to at least outside of the top 10, finishes 42nd here, and the 84 was still in contention for the championship before this one, not going to be after this one, so he finishes last place here in the CostCo 200. We saw the leaders coming down into the pits. We see the race out of the pits now as Lancer leads Brewer and Ringer. Not sure where Leggy fell to. Mike Oppenheimer has hit the pit wall coming out of the pits, and this was a major struggle for all the drivers this weekend. And Jason Miller hits it, goes for a spin, and comes down the racetrack. Tommy Richer hits him, and so does Michael Carter. And the 7 flips over. And Seattle Speedway definitely showing why its 2015 date was removed not too long ago, as these drivers having a very hard time with the end of the pits. As you see, Tommy Richard's day is done, as is Miller's and Carter's, and that is very unfortunate. Your race ending under the caution, and just tough break for all three of those drivers, as we see Jonathan Ringer shot out of a cannon on the restart, and continuing to run very well in that number 0 car. Kenny Gerrelds running in what looks to be third. He started on the pole, has not led a lap. Lancer would eventually get back around the 0 not shortly after, and clears him pretty quickly. That's the fastest pass for the lead I think we've seen yet. Ringer does battle back, though. Kenny Gerrelds has safely positioned himself in the 3rd place, as you see the battle for the lead once again raging on off turn number 4. It looks like Lancer is going to get the edge across the line, and Ringer does have that preferred groove, so Ringer's probably going to take the lead away from Lancer in turns 1 and 2. Here he is, and it looks like the outside line just doesn't have enough grip, and the 0 car uses that to his advantage on the inside groove and takes the lead away. He had the preferred groove there, and Lancer shows it once again here. The outside line just does not have any grip at all in the middle of 1 and 2, and that allows that inside line. If you're underneath the car, you're going to take that position away, as Keith Davis has blown up on lap 47, and in front of basically the whole field. Davis was running very strong in the 13th position, and his day is now done in that Garth Enterprises Chevy SS. Keith Davis has struggled for quite a while now, and it's not a good sign for Garth Enterprises. Their season has been disastrous, their first season, as we see on board Greg Sauer blows up right in front of the 88, maybe some contact, and he's in the wall in turn number 2. Greg Sauer has some significant right side damage to that JM Pontiac, as we see pit stops once again, and it's Lancer once again leading him down into the pits and leading them off, as stellar pit work by his crew, and he will lead the field off the pits. Casey Lester, Jimmy Cohen makes a very aggressive move. Lester into the wall because of it. Lester not happy with Cohen because of that, and Lester has some significant left side damage to his car. More trouble though as David Lee Bibson turns Tim Averill into the wall. Greg Sauer involved, and those two go for a spin. Averill's done more trouble behind them, as Hensler, Bell, it looks like Bethany Baltano was too aggressive on Preston Bell, and that collects Brian Hensler as well. And a mess on the back straightaway. That pit wall is just giving everyone trouble, and when you're too aggressive and put someone in that wall, this creates a major stack up, and drivers are not happy about this one at all. Lap 52, our restart occurs, and Jonathan Ringer once again showing that power as he gets through turn 2 and takes the lead away from Lancer. Ringer definitely one of the drivers you'd want to take if you're picking a driver on a restart, and he's been very good on restarts his whole career, but he doesn't hold the lead for too long once again, as here comes Nick Dawson in the 22 at a very good pit stop gained some valuable track position and has worked his way up into the lead in that number 22 as he tries to get around Jonathan Ringer's 0 car through 3 and 4. Looks like he's got the edge coming to the line in that Tabasco Pontiac. Dawson, we're unsure on his return, but we hope to see him back in the series next season. Nate Smith has been falling back, but on this restart currently runs in the 20th position. DeCario not too far behind in 22nd, and through these first couple of laps of the restart, DeCario has just been trying to mirror the 83 and try to keep him in his sights. And Casey Lester, not a good day for him, as that pit incident really took him off the pace. As here he is a lap down with Greg Sauer and the 87 car in 32nd position right now. These last 7 or so races have just been awful for Lester, take him completely out of the championship battle. He's still in it right now, but we got trouble as we see lap 69, our third caution would fly Pisani and Simmons. Simmons took a very hard hit into the outside wall, and that's a good sign to see his car continue to move the heat. That means he is all right. Bibson may have caused this one by checking up and going into the pits. Luke Kinsley gets in the back of the 16 and sends the 03 hard into the outside wall. Major damage on the 03 and 16. It looks like, yeah, Bibson just made everyone check up, and then the 4 has nowhere to go, runs into the back of the 16, hooks the 03, and that's a very hard hit. Glad to see Simmons was all right after that one, as we see more pit stops, and Dawson leading him in. Basically the entire field in once again, and the 22 leads the field off of the pits. And let's see if we have any pit road shenanigans. Yes, we do, as Emmett Trout and Frank Harris make contact. They both go for a spin. I'm not sure if anyone else got involved. As we take a look at the 3, Bradshaw is trying to avoid it, got into the 28 and goes for a spin, and not nearly as big as last wreck, but they all continue. Good sign for them. Here is the restart on lap 74, as we see the 22 car has distanced himself from the battle for second between Lancer and Ringer. Chad Lipinski has found his way into the 4th position. On the restart, Tyler Diefer comes into the pits, flat tire on the 20. Here we see Greg Sauer holding up the field. He is a lap down, and he gets turned on lap 76. The 24 goes around and hit by Pisani, and there's Frank Harris flipping him over. And down the back straightaway, Greg Sauer rolling violently in the grass in his JM Pontiac. And Greg Sauer comes to rest on all 4 wheels, unsure on his medical condition. But the 24 car going for a wild barrel roll, similar to Ike Durbin's AAPT Homestead crash. And Sauer, geez, that was, I don't know if we have no word if he's all right, but the 24 car obviously done after that one. Pisani got a piece of that as well, as Harris just flips him over. And the 24 car, probably the biggest, most spectacular crash we've seen all season. Tyler Diefer was spinning up ahead as well. But lap 81, our restart would occur. Another one, as we see Chad Lipinski actually takes a look to the inside of the 22. There's Jonathan Ringer trying to go for second as well. Wouldn't happen, as Nick Dawson eventually got back up to the 18 Ask.com Regal, and the 22 car and 18 battle in turns 3 and 4, and it looks like the 22 car is going to get it. Lap or 2 later, though, the 18 car comes right back and takes the lead away from Dawson through 1 and 2, and Chad Lipinski's had a very miserable season, and this is probably the only bright spot of it so far, as we see they've caught Diefer and Pisani lap traffic, and on lap 105, looks like this is going to cost Lipinski a little bit here, as Dawson moves to the inside of him, hooks the 20 a little bit, and Dawson's going to get a sizable lead. He's still not past the 16 car yet, but on lap 108, we'd have a debris caution, and that would be the final caution of the race. We'd restart on lap 113, and a bit of lap traffic, as you see the 22 car goes down into turn number 1. Lipinski all over his back bumper, can't make a move because the 89 of Frank Harris is there, but it looks like Lancer is catching up to these guys. He's underneath Glossum for third and looks to get around this lap traffic. and it doesn't look like he's going to, as the 18 now looks under the 22 in the middle of 3 and 4. Can he get it done? Does not, and the 22 keeps the lead. He would keep it until the white flag would fly, and Nick Dawson looking for that first career win. He's finished second 3 times this season, and 2 of those have been to Jonathan Ringer, and the 22 car finally looking like he can pull out the win. Nick Dawson, the rookie, running in the top 10 in points. Very stellar season from him, and again, we don't know if he's returning next season or not, but the 22 car comes off turn number 4, comes across the line to win the CostCo 200, his first career win. Nick Dawson is your winner at the Seattle Speedway. So Nick Dawson takes the win. A great run from him, a dominating performance, takes his first career win at Seattle. Chad Lipinski, a great run for him, his best all season. He finishes second. Sean Glossum finishes third. He won the qualifying race, so a very solid weekend from Sean Glossum in the 09 Ford. Will Legge snuck his way up back into 4th. Didn't see much of him after the beginning of the race, but another solid run from Will Legge. He's done great this season, and one of his best tracks coming up, that being Saskatchewan, won there last year, is your finale track. Well, he'll definitely be a dark horse to win there. Lancer finishes 5th. Luke Kinzen was quiet, finishes 6th. Nate Smith finishes 7th, our point leader, with another stellar run. Jonathan Ringer finishes 8th, another great run from him. Alex Yates rebounds and finishes 9th after a couple of bad weeks. And Kenny Gerrelds does not lead a lap after starting on the pole, but he does come home with a top 10 in the 14 car. Nate Smith is your point leader by 66 points, which means if he finishes 15th or better, no matter what DeCario or Lester do, and if he finishes 15th or better, no matter what those two do, he will win the title. And DeCario and Lester, looks like they're going to have their hands full. Lester especially. Lester probably has to win the race. Not sure on that, though, and have Smith finish around 40th. This reminds me of the 2010 points battle between Fisher, Scranton, and Cilantro. Very similar, but everyone else is eliminated from Dawson on down. Dawson's 4th in the championship. Pisani 5th. Cilantro is up to 6th. Yates 7th. Ringer has found his way into the 8th points position. Luis Tellez solidly in the top 10. And Jimmy Cohen rounds out your top 10. And again, Saskatchewan finale next week. Should be a great race, and we hope to see a great race to hoist the champion of the 2014 Amp Energy Racing Series season.